hope the music. Let me. I just to work like O's too. That's it. Music was fine before, now I don't want to work no. Fine. Why is that? But I got audio coming through. Y'all. So audio. Hate having to really don't. If I'm being honest, I do it if I have to do it. Damn it. So annoying, and it messes up the stream too when you gotta restart it. Not a good look. Have to be something. That's why I wasn't no. Sabotage, bro. I hope y'all can hear the music. I know y'all can hear my voice, but I really hope y'all can hear. I don't know. Y'all can't hear the music right now. Wish I knew, but I do not know. I'm just praying to God that you can hear the sound of my voice in the music and you can hear. Just put a 1 in the chat. Please. Please. I know it's probably like 1 person in here, maybe 2, maybe. Say 1 viewers. If I could just get y'all to put a 1 if y'all can hear the music and the sound of my voice, that would be perfect. No, I ain't no big streamer, so it ain't cool to comment in my chat. I know it's not 1,000 people commenting. Nobody want to say nothing. It would really help me out. I don't know if this. That's all I'm trying to. Does the sound work? Does it not? The sound or not? I'm just trying to figure. Stay quiet then. Alright, stay quiet then. Don't say nothing. Ooh. Somebody gonna come in here and the music and they can hear the damn sound of my voice, alright? Somebody let me. Please. I can't do nothing else until I know that sound. I'ma just sit here, stare at this. I'ma sit here and stare at y'all till somebody come in here that the sound is working, alright? Somebody come in here, drop some real knowledge. Ant, your sound is working. Hey Ant, your sound ain't working, bruh. Come on, man. So y'all, I know y'all got the. So y'all got the. Somebody left. Body. It's crazy because before I signed off, I had TikTok. You wrong, man. TikTok, you wrong, man. Wrong, bruh. I don't even know you wrong, bruh. You like, even TikTok, you know. Yeah, you wrong, TikTok. You treat me like I ain't got 61 followers. It's a lot of wrong going on. I gotta keep it real. Damn, I'm the only viewer, huh? I'm the only viewer at Murphy. Damn, TikTok, that's tough. Person got it was me. I ain't even got one viewer in mine. There's less one. Hey, yeah, that would be cool. That kind of stuff. Alright though. One of these days, maybe. I can't even imagine talking to 1,000 people. Nuts. But with that chat, boy, man, I could probably do it, but trying to figure out if I got sound, but now my team ain't working. You can hear the sound of my voice and the sound of the music. Please put a 1 in the chat. I just need to know if the music. I don't think the sound is working yet. Everybody's too cool to chat. Everyone's too cool to just put a 1. Everybody on this. Ooh. I'm gonna be in the live stream, but I'm too cool to chat. Cool to talk. Very weird. Somebody gonna come in here that actually rock with me. But just stay quiet. You don't really rock with me, stay quiet. Your damn mouth shut. I don't want to talk to y'all fake ass. If you fake, everybody on here. Come on, man. For no gift or nothing. I just said put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the damn music. All I obviously can't check it, man. If I could, I would. On my screen and say I got sounds. That's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure. Shout out to everybody acting like cool to chat. That's what's up. I know it's only like 1 or 2 people in here. Even 2, probably just. It's cool though. Whatever. I'm gonna just hold it down, right? Just sit right here, hold it down. Maybe somebody will come in and rock with me. Let me know. Perfect. I don't know what happened one day. Nope. Not working. No idea. I can hear the music perfectly. I got all type of sound right now. If you can hear the sound of my voice and the music, please put a 1 in the chat. Damn. Guys, everybody's so fucking cool. Everybody's just cool. Like, alright. I might just go pop on my 60,000 followers. I must be falling off. I feel like y'all don't really fuck with my content. Like, somebody be dropping the likes, the comments. I should just get off this. I don't really fuck with me. It's like 2 or 3 of y'all that actually rock with me. Other than that, fake love. Whole lot of fake love. People acting like they rocking. Really rock. No? Hold up. Peeping the game. All the other people follow, most of them don't give you 2 to 3. Most of them don't take care of y'all like that. Cool though, like I said. I just sell this page right. I could really get. Yeah, so if y'all interested in buying a TikTok, DM me. 60K followers, I see analytics, everything. Cool on the fake love, cool on, but I can they rock with you. Really don't rock with you. Or maybe I should just start doing the battle thing. Maybe I should just every live stream battle. I just do. Everybody else do one. Watch it, y'all don't like it. Put hearts on it. Nothing. Body supposedly. I'm just frustrated. I'm probably sure that I'll look back at this live stream. Yeah, I'm talking about. When you work as hard as I do and then you just don't see nothing for it. All this fake love, people acting like they rocking with you. Then when it's time to like show up, song drop, ain't nobody trying to stream it, ain't nobody trying to. Good though. Good though. It's good though. I'll keep doing that. Just taking these notes right now. I keep. I done made Unc mad now. I ain't mad. I can't say it. Damn. Fucking Lewis. Your follower. I can't get one viewer TikTok. For real? God damn, man. This shit frustrated. Bought all this fucking equipment to do this and it's failing. Straight up. Fuck me as fuck y'all too. Remember that. Remember that. They sing. Put a one in this. You can hear the sounds. All I'm trying to figure out is if the sound is what. All I want to know. Motherfuckers is just too cool to put that one in the chat, huh? Y'all just too cool to do it. Too cool, huh? Man. I'm so fucking frustrated. Super frustrated. Super frustrated. Cannot lie. Cannot lie. I gotta really reevaluate. This is not it. Showing up for people every day that don't show up for you. I'm sorry. All this time making content, y'all. All of it, y'all don't even like. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all don't do none of the things. Y'all don't do none of the things, man. Weird. Y'all just miss every single one of the videos. Cool though, man. I'm taking notes. I'm keeping notes. My attitude started changing. Y'all know why. Keeping it real on this app, being straight up, you know, not trying to scam, not trying to just riff for gifts on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't do those things, then you ain't gonna get nobody coming tap in. People on here make $8,000, $10,000 just because they telling they chat, oh, they needed it 30 minutes. I can't get people to put a one in the chat that tell me if they hear the sounds or what am I doing? Like, why am I wasting my time doing it? Like, why am I wasting my time doing it? Don't nobody even fuck with me. That's what I'm trying to. Why do I even mind with it? People don't even. Like, at a certain point, like, I just gotta take responsibility for it and just, but like, bro, you're the problem. Like, they don't fuck with you. What are you showing up for? Like, my videos get the same amount of views they did when I had fucking 2 followers. Frustrated, man. The whole thing is just frustrating. I guess I'm just venting. Ain't nobody in here anyway, so I'll just vent. And if someone watches it later, they probably gonna comment, hater shit. Oh, give it up, whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed in my audience. Little disappointed in y'all. I get way more love for people that I don't see all the time, people that don't be in here like that all the time. I get way more love from people that I don't see. But I get a lot of people playing in my face though. I do get a lot of people playing in my face though. So it just be having me wonder, like, why do I make content that y'all don't even interact with? Y'all don't like the stuff hardly. It be mostly new people liking it. Y'all don't comment on none of this shit. It's like 1 or 2 of y'all that comment that come see the lives. You know, like. But it's people on here that they do nothing but beg and ask for gifts and ask for money, and they got 1,000 people watching, 200 people watching, 300 people watching. Crazy. Like, trying to be ethical, trying to do ethical content, trying to, you know, not game the system, trying not to get involved in the BS, but man, like, that's what y'all want. Y'all want BS. Y'all don't want real. Y'all don't want somebody to be honest. Y'all don't want somebody to make good content for y'all and to show up for y'all. Cause I've been doing that for 2 years and y'all do not show up for me. Y'all do not show up for me. You just say that really. Y'all do not show up for me. It's like I've been trying to like act like I don't see it or act like it's cool, but it's not cool, man. Not cool. 2 or 3 videos a day. Y'all be coming in the live all the time, but y'all don't comment on the videos. Y'all don't like the videos. Like, oh, I don't never see them. You know, so you ain't seen 1,000 videos of mine. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's just stop the bullshit. Like, I'm finna just start calling people out. I'm just cool on being hella nice. Y'all just don't matter. Don't matter. It's cool, but it's gonna just start taking advantage and gaming the system just like everybody else do. But that's what y'all respond to. Those are the type of creators y'all like right there. Those are the type of creators y'all like right there. Y'all want people to be fake. Y'all want people to. Got you. I can't be fake. I can't do it. Got you though. Don't trip. I want to act like y'all too cool to support the kids. Don't worry about it. I want y'all support. Yeah, y'all support. As a matter of fact, don't follow me. Matter of fact, I want to get all the fake out of here. You follow me right now, you ain't never liked, commented, shared, saved the post. Stop following me. Stop following me. Unsubscribe. Just get up out of here, man. Cool on the fake. Cool on the fake at this point. So much fake. So much just BS, man. I'm just cool. Cool on y'all niggas. That. Do not understand this coming freaking thing, but it's okay, Miss y'all want. This what y'all turning me. Y'all turning me gonna be a system like everybody else. I stay. I don't want to support me. Remember this. Remember this energy y'all got for me. My energy switch up. Y'all know. Y'all know what it was. Prize by it or nothing. Keep the same energy y'all keeping right now. I switch my energy up. Don't be surprised. Oh, yeah, I did. Everything you said I did. Watch. Crazy. Fucking. That's cool. Shout out to the chat that didn't let me know the sound was working. Shout out to y'all for not saying shit about the sound and not telling me that it worked. Y'all so fucking fake. Y'all are fake.
In 2014, an abandoned cell phone was found in the back seat of a taxi in Fiji. When a passenger found it, they started looking through its contents to figure out who it belonged to. In the camera roll, they found a roughly 10-minute video. It was pixelated handheld footage shot from the deck of a large vessel somewhere in the open ocean. The video captured a gruesome mass killing which would take years before the man responsible for it was ever found. Now, the first few minutes of the footage have been scrapped from the internet, but from what I could gather, they showed the deck of a ship with people yelling in multiple languages. Beyond that, another ship is visible nearby, and right next to it is a smaller boat sitting roughly 100 feet away. At first, nothing happens. The video plays out normally, but a few seconds later, one of the larger vessels suddenly accelerates and slams directly into the smaller boat, flipping it over and throwing the crew into the ocean without life jackets. As the men clung to pieces of debris, a man started shouting from somewhere aboard the ship, giving commands in Mandarin to shoot the drowning men. What followed was a savage massacre with 40 rounds of bullets fired throughout the duration of the video, killing one man after the other. Even when one of the men tried to surrender by raising both of his arms, he was immediately shot in the back of the head. After the shooting stopped, the camera kept rolling, and it showed crew members on deck laughing and posing for selfies beside each other as if what had just happened was nothing new to them. The video of unknown origins was uploaded to YouTube, where it circulated for months before reaching authorities. The footage was eventually found by journalist Ian Urbina, an investigative reporter for the New York Times at the time and founder of the Outlaw Ocean Project, a journalism group that investigates lawlessness, human rights abuses, and environmental crimes at sea. Ian launched a months-long investigation into the footage and worked with maritime crime researchers to trace its origin. At first, nobody knew which ship the footage came from, where the shooting had taken place, or who the men in the water were. But after analyzing the video more closely, it showed enough of the surrounding vessels to give investigators somewhere to start. The shooting had taken place on September 29, 2012, with 4 fishing vessels at the scene. A maritime research group compared the ships visible in the footage against global vessel databases and identified the filming vessel as Ping Shin 101, which sailed under a Taiwanese flag. That discovery completely changed the direction of the investigation. Under maritime law, a ship sailing under a country's flag is subject to that country's jurisdiction, even in international waters, which meant the people responsible for investigating the massacre should have been the Taiwanese government. Eventually, the Taiwanese government released an official statement explaining what had happened, or at least what seemed like the explanation at the time. According to them, the men in the water were Somali pirates who had fired on a fishing fleet, and the shooting was an act of self-defense. The incident had taken place in a part of the Indian Ocean that was infested with Somali pirates during the early 2010s.
Ran the boat over.
The fishing vessels operating there routinely carried armed private security for protection. This was a believable explanation, but looking closely, it had some holes. The first problem was that nothing in the footage showed the men in the water carrying any firearms, so there was nothing indicating that they were pirates. And when analysts examined the debris floating around them, it did not look like the type of vessels Somali pirates were typically known to use. However, the contradiction that finally broke the official story came from inside the ship itself. In 2016, a private investigator tracked down 2 Filipino crew members from the Ping Shin 101, Aldrin and Maximo. Maximo was one of the men seen posing for selfies on deck after the shooting, and his testimony directly contradicted what Taiwanese officials had said. They didn't have any guns, only fishing equipment on their boat. It was wrong, people getting shot, but there was nothing I could do about it. Using witness accounts, along with analysis of the voice heard over the loudspeaker, investigators were able to identify the man giving the shooting orders as the ship's captain, a Chinese national named Wang Fengyu. Wang had ordered 2 Pakistani security guards aboard the vessel to open fire on the men as they floated in the water. When it was over, at least 10 men were dead. But despite dozens of witnesses across the surrounding ships, no maritime law required any of them to report what they'd just seen. So, no one did. The bodies were never recovered, and for nearly 2 years, the killings went completely unreported, and was only ever discovered because of the footage found on the phone left behind in the taxi. By the time investigators identified the Ping Shin 101 in 2015, the ship had already sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and there was nothing left to examine for evidence. But the most disturbing detail of the case wasn't the shooting itself, it was what had happened.
So this was a ship, big ship they basically ran over a little ship, flipped them over, capsized them, and then when the guys were like, whoever survived were hanging onto the boat, the commander of the big boat ordered them to shoot them. They shot the people in the water.
According to Aldrin's interviews, the shooting in the video was not an isolated incident. Roughly 5 days earlier, Wang had taken the Ping Shin 101 to join 3 other fishing vessels in attacking a small sailboat. The ships circled the boat together, terrorizing its crew before taking turns ramming it until it overturned and sank. The unarmed men were then thrown into the water while they screamed, "No Somali, no pirates." Wang ordered the 2 Pakistani guards to open fire, and when they hesitated, he came down from the bridge, took a machine gun from one of them, and brutally shot the men himself. Between the 2 attacks, more than 30 people were violently murdered. However, when Wang was eventually arrested in August 2020, almost 8 years after the mass killing, only 4 deaths could be proven. and after multiple appeals over the years, Taiwan's Supreme Court confirmed his 26-year sentence in January 2025. Unfortunately, the men who died have never been identified, and no bodies were ever recovered. But none of this answered the real question: why had Wang actually done it? His official story was the one Taiwanese authorities gave to the press. The men were pirates and the shooting was self-defense. But almost nothing about that story held up. His own crew told investigators the men in the water had no weapons.
Didn't even have weapons.
And even the Taiwanese court that accepted Wang's pirate claim convicted him of murder, because once the men were in the water, they couldn't fight back. So what was his reason? Digging deeper, there lies a darker explanation. The Ping Shin 101 had reportedly been illegally poaching off Somalia, stealing its fish. Maritime experts believe the surge of piracy attacks against foreign vessels in that region during the early 2010s wasn't really piracy at all. It was Somali fishermen pushing back against foreign ships stealing the fish they depended on for survival, which meant the men Wang killed may not have been pirates at all, but local fishermen confronting one of the foreign
and that was his excuse he was going to use to the death of it too.
Sadly, to this day, no one
even though
knows
they said they were Somali, they raised their hands up in the water and told them that they were Somali. That sucks. Yeah.
On the morning of April 22nd, 2012,
firefighters
in North Bend, Washington responded to smoke coming from a quiet suburban home on Southeast 159th Street. By the time firefighters put out the fire, it had only reached the kitchen. As they searched the house, they realized the fire was cover for something much darker. Inside the bedrooms, they found 41-year-old Lynette Keller and her 18-year-old daughter Kayleen, both shot in the head. 7 gas containers were spread throughout the house, and a plastic gas can had been placed on an electric stove with the burner turned on. Someone had clearly wanted this entire home to burn to the ground, but the fire was stopped before it could finish the job. The only person missing from the scene was the husband and father, Peter Keller. He was a quiet 41-year-old who worked at a computer refurbishing store where his boss described him as an excellent employee, and close relatives knew him as a good father and a loving husband. Peter had no criminal record and no history of violence. The only thing slightly unusual about Peter was that he liked to go on long weekend hikes by himself. But as investigators would soon find out, those hikes were covering up something Peter had been building for nearly 8 years. During their investigation, officers found an unlocked safe in one of the rooms. Inside were hand-drawn blueprints for an underground structure and hundreds of photographs documenting its construction. Along with this, there were hard drives where officers found footage Peter had recorded of himself just weeks earlier. This footage proved crucial in the initial investigation. In one of the clips, Peter can be seen walking through dense forest, talking about finally bringing some kind of project to an end.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before...
Listen. There ain't nothing wrong with going to the woods and being a woodsman, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. But look at this guy's face right. When guys like this start hanging out in the woods by themselves, they got whole families at home. Like, let's say y'all don't live in the woods, but like y'all live in the city and you gotta like drive out to the woods. So you out here driving like 2-3 hours to go to the woods to build some sort of Batman structure. See, these are the people you gotta watch right here. The devil guy going to Walmart and start shooting, or they gonna, you know, go to websites and download video. Like, these are the type of people right here that you gotta watch.
The end.
You got somebody in your neighborhood that looks like this, just report them. Just report them. Don't even, I know, and you can't assume, just report them. Just report them.
This is gonna be my last video, probably before, till after that.
He was speaking as if he'd been stockpiling large amounts of supplies somewhere, preparing for the moment when he could stop going back and forth.
I have about 3 loads left before the final. Been doing pretty good lately, getting about 2 loads
killers
a
have
week.
to report it or tell
about
somebody.
100 pounds each week now of supplies and material.
To investigators, the end Peter was referring to was likely the murder of his wife and daughter, followed by the fire he set to erase the evidence. And the photographs and blueprints recovered from the house showed where the plan was supposed to lead next, an underground bunker somewhere in the Cascade Mountains, which was just a few miles from his North Bend home. Based on the way he spoke in the videos, investigators had every reason to believe that wherever this bunker was, Peter was probably hiding inside it at that moment.
Yeah, he was.
Basically, I can last months up here without ever leaving. I've got propane, gasoline, food.
He thought he had. I could last months up here without eating.
Supplies. So, really set right now.
The problem was that it could have been anywhere
I just
in
know
or
he
near
smelled like
the
cheddar.
Cascade Mountain area. But without an exact location, that still left them with 30 to 40 miles of dense woods and dozens of possible hills where Peter could have disappeared. For the next few days, there were no meaningful leads. However, on April 26, after 4 days of searching and sifting through evidence, investigators found a blurry photograph recovered from the Keller house. It was among the few pieces of evidence the fire had failed to destroy. The image appeared to have been taken from inside the bunker, looking out through the trees. In the distance, investigators could make out power lines and the rooftops of what would later be identified as the North Bend Premium Outlets. Around the same time, they received a tip from hikers who had seen Peter's red 1994 Toyota pickup at the Rattlesnake Ridge trailhead weeks earlier. Together, those two clues narrowed the search to a specific stretch of mountain about 4 miles from the trail. On April 27th, 36 SWAT officers began climbing the ridge. After 7 hours of searching through the steep forest, they finally found the bunker. But even after locating it, officers still didn't know exactly where Peter was inside. So they surrounded the bunker and fired tear gas in, and moments later, Peter responded with gunshots from the darkness. The standoff lasted 22 hours before officers used explosives to blow a hole through the roof. Inside, on the lower level, they found Peter dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Reviewing the footage, this is something Peter had prepared for.
At this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I may get caught right away. Basically, if I get caught, I'm just going to myself. So, I mean, I could basically be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point. So,
look how, like, matter of fact, like, he's talking about that, like, a Chipotle burrito or something. Like, he's going to just go pick up his Chipotle order. This is him speaking on murdering his wife and child and hiding in a bunker.
I think anyone knows where I'm
Different
at.
level of crazy right there.
But if they put it together, who knows? At this point, I have to take that chance.
7 hours.
The handgun found beside his body was the same one he used to kill Lynette and Kayleen. Inside the bunker, officers found enough food and water to last months, along with weapons, body armor, and tens of thousands of dollars in cash. Peter had stored everything he thought he would need for the outlaw life he'd been planning for years.
Why would he store cash?
Getting to the point where
I guess you always want to have some cash, but if you ain't
just
leaving.
trying to live and pay bills and live as a civilian and go to work, it just freaks me out. It's actually more comfortable for me to think about living out here, robbing banks, pharmacies, just taking what I want for as long as I can.
What?
At least it'll be exciting. It won't be boring. And I don't have to worry about Lynette or Kayleen. And everything will be taken care of. It'll just be me.
This got to be one of the most psychopathic people, sociopathic people I've ever seen. But how is he talking about this so normally?
A natural question that comes to mind is why? Why go through all that trouble to destroy his family and get away from them? Based on the evidence, investigators believe Peter wanted to disappear and start a new life far away from the responsibilities of a husband and a father. His wife Lynette and daughter Kayleen were obstacles to this fantasy.
Well, before...
But his daughter was 18, though. If you wanted to leave your wife or whatever, like, you could have did that. That makes no sense to me.
You know, a while ago, I used to sit here and think, you know, this whole thing
Literally,
is just
like, why would you do them ladies like
at
that?
times, and then I'd think about it, and it would make sense, and it's like, okay, this is what I got to do. But, you know, now, I guess with time, I just think that way all the time.
Literally.
That this is what I got to do. I don't even question
And like
it
I said,
anymore.
she's 18. Like,
It just seems like everything makes so much sense.
an adult.
now.
After the case was officially closed, Lynette's family used the money recovered from the bunker, along with the rest of Peter's estate, to establish the Kayleen Keller Memorial Scholarship Fund at DeJaPenn Institute of Technology, the same school Kayleen had been hoping to join before her father decided to end that dream. Highway 1 is one of California's most scenic coastal routes, carrying drivers along narrow stretches of road where the Pacific sits just beyond the shoulder. On the morning of December 30th, 2019, a man named Philemon Ledesma had been driving northbound near Gray Whale Cove when he witnessed one of the most bizarre car accidents. Shortly after 10:30 a.m., he called 911 to report that he had just watched a vehicle fly off one of those cliffs in San Mateo County. Officers arrived within 20 minutes and found tire tracks at the edge of the highway leading toward a drop of roughly 40 feet into the Pacific. But below it, there was absolutely no evidence of a vehicle or driver for officers to recover. With nothing in the water and only Philemon's word to go on, officers needed some way to confirm what he had seen. They scoured through Philemon's car and noticed a dash cam he had installed years earlier. On it, they found footage of the accident, and it was just as bizarre as he described.
Oh!
The SUV drove across the sandy patch at the edge of the highway, went airborne, and plunged straight down the cliff. The California Highway Patrol and Coast Guard quickly launched a massive search operation, with local fire crews and deputies combing the area by land, sea, and air. Later, they found vehicle debris in the water below, but unrelated to that specific SUV. 2 days later, the footage was released to the public and went viral across the internet. But instead of bringing in leads, it created a new problem. Over the following weeks, people started picking the footage apart frame by frame. Some focused on why Philemon kept driving even after the SUV went over. Others couldn't understand why someone would drive straight off a cliff into the Pacific. And before long, a growing number of people began claiming the video had been deepfaked. Many just couldn't understand how no trace of the car or driver was found, as if they had just disappeared. But California Highway Patrol quickly dismissed these claims. Experts like Shamir Alibi, founder of the deep-faked footage detection company Amber Video, also suggested that the footage was most likely real. So then how had a vehicle gone off a cliff in broad daylight and somehow left investigators with no physical evidence that could tell them who was inside or where the person had disappeared to?
I'm dumbfounded right now.
Something a lot of people didn't take into account was just how drastic the terrain is off this stretch of highway. Just beneath the cliffs are jagged rocks, thick brush, narrow ravines, and violent surf that can hide or pull apart a vehicle within minutes. In many places, once something goes over the edge, it disappears into a maze of coastline that rescuers can barely access even in daylight, which is why it was so surprising when the case actually had a breakthrough. Human remains were found on Montara Beach, along with a California driver's license. DNA testing confirmed they belonged to 52-year-old Tracy Ivory Sinclair from San Francisco. A later DMV search also showed she was the registered owner of a 2007 Lexus SUV, matching the car in the footage. Her family had filed a missing person report months earlier, and they had been waiting for her the entire time. But even after a name was finally attached to the dashcam footage, officials never determined whether Tracy lost control of the car or drove off the cliff deliberately. And disturbingly, this isn't the only instance of this. In 2004, a 23-year-old named Jason Affolter drove off this same stretch, and his body was found washed up on the beach days later. Then, in 2017, a 22-year-old went missing on his way to work, and investigators eventually concluded he had driven off the cliff as well. But despite all of this, it took California's Transportation Department until December 2020 to install barriers along the cliffside, and only after years of pressure from the grieving families. As for Tracy's...
Hey, they didn't even have barriers over there. That's crazy. That right there is crazy. That's insane.
Sinclair, all that remains of her final moments is a few seconds of dashcam found footage. Millions of people have watched it, but no one knows why she was on that road or what happened in the moments before her SUV went over that cliff.
Dashcam just kept it pushing. They just said, "Up."
On September 16, 1996, the manager at the Van Buren Plaza apartment complex in Hollywood, Florida, had suspicions that something was wrong with one of the units in the building. A foul smell had been lingering for at least a day, and now there were complaints of blood seeping through the walls into the apartment below.
I was talking about just driving.
So he called the authorities to check on the tenant. When police forced the door open, they found the decomposing body of a young man.
Good morning.
A video camera was set up across the room, pointed in his direction, and on the wall, someone had written a message. The 8mm tapes are a documentation of a crime. Terrorist matter. They are for the FBI. Beside the body were 11 videotapes, each one roughly 2 hours long, which amounted to nearly 22 hours of total footage. All of it was recorded by the man on the floor, 21-year-old Ricardo Lopez. Officers went straight for the tape that was still inside the camera. It was labeled Last Day. And as the label suggested, the tape showed Lopez on September 12 recording himself in his final moments. But as disturbing as the found footage was, it wasn't what the police were most horrified about at the time. Earlier that day, Lopez had mailed a package which by September 16 was still moving through the international postal system. Inside was a hollowed-out book rigged with sulfuric acid designed to spray directly into the face of whoever opened it. Lopez had recorded himself preparing this device before mailing it to the London address of popular Icelandic singer Björk for, at the time, unknown reasons.
Thank you for the
As soon
roses,
as the
Mandy.
Hollywood police saw it, they immediately contacted the authorities in the area. Fortunately, the next day, British police located the package at a postal sorting office and safely detonated it before it could reach Björk's address. But even after it was intercepted, there were still 11 tapes to go through, tapes that could have documented similar attacks being prepared for other people. Thankfully, no other targets were identified. Instead, the tapes revealed 9 months of footage documenting Lopez's terrifying psychological decline.
I'm going to show you who I am.
Never know what people are doing in their house, y'all.
Oh!
This guy got neighbors.
The first tape was dated January 14, 1996. In it, Lopez explains the purpose of these recordings.
Okay. Comfort is what I seek.
Hold on real quick, y'all, real quick. I just got a question. Take a long, hard look at this picture. And then just comment while we watching what you think it smell like in there. I'm going to say chili cheese Fritos that have been left out of the sun after being pulled out of a toddler's toilet water out of their, their potty training toilet. Someone sprayed fart spray on them while eating a dingy sandwich. I mean, there's just so many things. Like I say, boiled quarters. I mean, there's just so many things.
To you.
I just know it smells raunchy.
Something with, I don't know. Something that makes me
Thank you for the share, Mandy.
For a long time, I've been speaking into the mirror and being my own psychologist, sort of. Whatever.
I know it's funky in there. I just know it.
It's a release.
He talked about how he had been fixated on Björk since he was 18.
Björk has been an incredible part of my mind.
Thank you, Mishi. I appreciate you.
Since 93, since I first saw her.
Mandy, I see you.
Started with a crush.
I appreciate you.
And ended up with an obsession, which I'm not embarrassed to admit now.
Listen. Fellas, gentlemen, young men of the world. This is not the way to get stalking, sending explosive books with sulfuric acid in it. I'm talking about you're obsessed about someone you've never met before, never had a conversation with. They don't even know who you are. Guys, women don't like that. Look, anytime you get the urge to like text a woman excessive shit, or you feel like doing, just slap your own damn hand, okay? Because when you start talking like this, oh, Björk, she's been an important part of my life since 1993. She hasn't though. And that's like kind of like the thing we gotta like. There's like this world that we create in our head. There's like reality. Like, I know it's so fun over here, and it's like a lot of candy, and it has like our favorite snacks and stuff over here in Bizarro World. But like, we have to, especially as we get older. See, at this age, you're a grown man. So when you get to that stage, you can't live over here anymore in La La Land. You have to deal with real life and take a shower too. Take a bath. That'll help you out too. You can't go around no women smelling like balls. But I'm just.
Björk had become his escape from everything he despised about his life, including his job,
yeah, I think
body,
it's early
and loneliness.
2000s.
He also showed his 803-page journal, which was full of his thoughts and feelings about the singer.
Look how 803-page journal. You're obsessed, dude.
By the time the video diary began, Lopez had learned from a magazine that Bjork was in a relationship with another musician. To him, it was a betrayal of his
96,
devotion,
there it goes right there.
and he wanted to make
96.
sure she carried that betrayal on her face for the rest of her life. So these tapes became the place where he documented how he planned to make that happen. He had initially planned to build a device filled with hypodermic needles containing HIV-infected blood. But when he couldn't work out that depraved plan,
Like, okay, I just have one question. Is there like a website or is there like a brick and mortar store that you can go to? Like, yeah, I got this needle. I'm trying to dip in some HIV so I can stab somebody with it. Y'all got any spare HIV I can dip my needle? Where the hell are these regular people just finding these HIV needles? Tell them they're a thrift stores, they're a Goodwill for HIV needles. I'm just trying to figure this out because they said Eazy-E died the same way. I don't know, y'all.
he
I'm just trying
decided
to
to make a
figure it out. I
sulfuric
don't know.
acid bomb,
I'm just trying to.
as he wanted to either disfigure her
I don't know,
permanently
though.
or take her life.
I go to the payphone over there, my list of numbers, start calling. Either I'm gonna get a hydrochloric acid, 100%,
I'm not positive, so I don't care.
sulfuric
I don't want to
acid.
know. I think I'm gonna take
strong-
that sentiment
Yeah.
too, Mishi.
Lopez wrote in his diary how he wanted to have an effect on her life. And even though these tapes make Lopez seem sealed inside his apartment, he wasn't completely cut off from the outside world just yet. During this time, his family had become increasingly worried about his well-being and had pushed him to attend outpatient mental health appointments. But Lopez never told his therapist about the tapes or what he was planning to do. And by the middle of summer, even that little connection to society was gone. His boss had been complaining about Lopez's declining hygiene and behavior. Shortly after, Lopez quit his job and
What did I just say? Declining hygiene. I could tell you funky, boy. I know it's stinking there. I know it smell like something that's wet and been sitting for a long time. Black mold and mildew. All up in here.
off his phone line. His delusional plan to punish Bjork became the center of everything he had left. From that point on, the tapes narrowed almost completely around the device and how he'd deliver it. On September 12th, Lopez labeled his final tape. After mailing the package, he returned to his apartment. His plan was already in motion, and now the only thing left was the ending he had been building toward for months. The final tape was rolling the entire time. 4 days later, police found him dead inside the apartment. When Bjork learned what had happened, she was obviously horrified. By it, she sent a card and flowers to Lopez's family. His tapes were eventually released to the public. 22 hours of footage documenting the entire mental decline of Ricardo Lopez.
22 hours of...
On the morning of Good Friday, April 19th, 2019, 87-year-old Terry Radford was waiting near a bus stop on Worcester Avenue in Mansfield Woodhouse, completely unaware that only minutes away, a stolen car was tearing through nearby residential streets as the man behind the wheel screamed that he was Jesus.
I'm Jesus! I'm descendant of God!
He's about to run over the old man.
Watch this! You think I'm strong? Wait until you meet my...
Terry was a retired teacher who had spent
Now
much of
that
his
nigga's
past few
crazy.
years caring for his wife as she suffered through extreme dementia. She passed away 7 months earlier, and after years of putting almost everything else aside, Terry was finally beginning to look forward to life again. He had 3 foreign holidays planned for later that year, but before he could take any of them, the stolen car turned onto Worcester Avenue. As it came toward the bus stop, the driver noticed Terry standing there, and instead of continuing down the road, he shifted into reverse and accelerated back toward the pavement. The car mounted the curb and crushed Terry against the bus shelter with so much force that he passed away at the scene. The driver stepped out immediately and shouted, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." He was later identified as 38-year-old Gavin Collins.
This is a crazy ass look. Don't even look human. This dude don't even look human. Am I tripping? Bro don't look human, do he? Good morning, Angela. Thank you for the heart me. This does not look like a human being to me. Like when they say like aliens are among us or like reptilians and things like that, this is what I think of. Look at the ears. He got 2 different size ears. His eyes look, I mean, that's crazy for real, y'all. That's real crazy. Okay.
Had been released from prison
That's
less than
real
24
life
hours
crazy
earlier
right
with an
there.
electronic tag around his ankle under the home detention curfew scheme. This policy allows low-risk inmates to serve the remainder of their sentence at home while transitioning back into the community. But when Collins' friend collected him from the prison gate on April 18th, something about Collins' behavior seemed wrong. He was talking strangely and acting as if he was on drugs. By the next morning, that behavior had escalated into something far more alarming. Collins walked into a neighbor's house, threw a bag of prescription medicine on the floor, and started unplugging electrical items, claiming they were the work of the devil. He then walked into another neighbor's house, grabbed their car keys, and drove off. Collins was in the middle of a psychotic episode, and within moments he started accelerating through nearby residential streets, while families in the area went about their Good Friday morning. What happened next revealed Collins' horrifying state of mind. The entire incident was later...
You bring your crazy ass in my house, try to take my keys, throw some mess. I'm about to show you what crazy really is. You're not taking my car keys, bro, and just walking in my house. I don't care how crazy you are.
Discovered to have been recorded through dashcam footage found and recovered from the wreckage afterward. It shows him cutting through oncoming traffic at extremely high speeds as he shouts profanities. At one point, he ripped the rearview mirror off and continued to accelerate. He seemed to believe that he was a descendant of God and shouted that anyone who didn't listen to him would go to hell.
Descendant of God, and you lock me up! Watch this! You think I'm strong? Wait until you meet my...
Okay. But he ain't too crazy to put his seatbelt on, though. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You got the wherewithal to put your seatbelt on, though. But you're doing all this.
Stop him, because ultimately, he'll give her an ultimatum. Either listen to Gavin, Mum, or you're gonna go to hell. He'll disown you, and so will I. But it's now grandma's.
When he reached Skegby, Nottinghamshire, he lost control and slammed the car into a house. The homeowner who was standing in the front garden at the time had to jump out of the way to avoid the crash, but that didn't stop Collins. He climbed out of the wrecked car and demanded the owner give him keys to the vehicle, saying, "Do you believe in Jesus? Because I am Jesus, and I will kill you if you don't give me the keys." When he refused, Collins walked to the road where a woman had stopped their car to check if anyone needed help after the crash. He forced his way into her car, and after driving a short distance,
all they had to do was just tell him no. So none of this would have happened if the first neighbors would have been like, "No, I'm not giving you the keys, Jesus." Because what is his frail ass gonna do?
Threw her out and continued toward Mansfield Woodhouse. This was the second car he had stolen that morning, and within minutes he had crashed this one too. Despite suffering through 2 car crashes, Collins' adrenaline and psychotic state of mind seemed to have erased any pain or anxiety. Shortly afterwards, he broke into another house where a mother and her 2 children were having breakfast. Collins approached them and drew crosses on their foreheads in his own blood from his wounds. Then he demanded the keys to the woman's car and threatened the lives of her children if she didn't hand them over. This was now the 3rd car Collins had stolen that morning, and the one he used to kill Terry. By that point, police had already been responding to reports of a car being driven recklessly in the area. When an officer turned toward the bus stop on Worcester Avenue, Terry's body was lying near the shelter with his legs crushed and a massive open wound on his left shin. Collins was still in the car trying to get away. He was eventually caught after police managed to taser and arrest him. The entire rampage had lasted about 30 minutes. 9 months later, a jury found Collins guilty of manslaughter, and he was sentenced to life in prison. Strangely, during the trial, Collins said he couldn't remember any of his actions from that day. He told the jury he had spent 90 to 95% of his adult life in prison, and that he had been hearing voices since childhood, which hinted at a deeper problem. Investigators later found that while he was previously inside prison, he was actually considered a risk of causing harm to others. He had been held in segregation away from other prisoners, and weeks before his release, he had set fire to his cell twice and attacked a staff member with a plastic knife. Because of those incidents, his early release should have been automatically blocked, but the prison governors overlooked them.
But they never do it.
Ultimately,
the people that should be released and should be out gotta stay. The ones that they should never let out, those be the ones that, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can stay. Don't worry about it. You're good. We'll let you go. I know you're a threat. I know you've been messing with the guards and everything, but it's okay.
On January 8th, 2005, a man named Martin discovered a mysterious package in his mailbox. Confused, he brought it inside and opened it up. Inside the package was a single item, a videotape with no label or note to explain its contents. Curious to see what was on it, he put it in his camcorder and pressed play, and the footage he found on it was shocking to say the least. It contained a nearly hour-long video of a man describing the violent things he was about to do, how he was going to lure his victims, and the makeshift devices he was going to use.
I'm not trained in torture methods, which is what I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here. The reason why it's got this padding on it is just to try to silence it a bit, because I'm in an apartment. I got gags, socks, I got lots of duct tape. I got a soldering iron, sheets. It's rather crude implements. I think can work wonders, especially if it's used in the right way.
However, while the content itself was extremely grim, what disturbed Martin more was the fact that he personally knew the person on screen. This wasn't the manifesto of a serial killer planning to take innocent lives. Instead, it was the final message of Martin's close friend, Ricky Rodriguez, a man who was tormented by a cult from the moment he was born. He eventually managed to escape the cult and was now planning to take revenge on the people who did unspeakable things to him for all those years. He recorded this hour-long video and mailed it to his few friends and family so they would find it and have all the answers about what he was about to do and why.
I'm making this video, well, for many reasons, I guess. I suppose the main reason is that I want there to be some record of the way I feel.
What you really want is you're this typical serial killer. You want to do this thing and you want notoriety for it. You want people to know that it was you. You want people to know how evil you are, how sick you are. That's what you really want. You want to be like one of those famous dudes that, you know, the women for some reason love those guys, Charles Mansons of the world and guys like that. That's what you want. But you in that crooked ass bowl cut, mama.
Just who I was.
Peanut head ass.
Ricky's story began 30 years earlier on January 25, 1975, when he was born as the first child of Karen Alva Zerby. Karen was a member of a cult called the Children of God, which...
I was about to say, like, that definitely looked like a cult right there. All of this shit right here. Don't join a cult. Just be your own cult. Your own cult. Don't do this.
Used Christian language
right
to lure in
this
young,
right here,
impressionable minds, often teenagers, and
look up Jim Jones, Guyana. Okay, just look up Jim Jones. Don't do this.
Them to its sick and perverse ideals. 2 years after Ricky's birth, he was adopted by the cult's leader, David Burke, who presented himself as the Chosen One. David changed the cult's name to The Family and declared Ricky to be a religious herald, granting him a special position in the organization. However, while he was treated like royalty by the other members on the surface, behind closed doors, Ricky was the victim of vile acts no child should ever have to endure. David not only encouraged these acts, but went as far as to write a whole book about everything he and his followers did to Ricky, called The Story of DeVito. This abuse continued for many years,
Definitely don't drink
but as Ricky got older, he became aware of David's lies and manipulation. Then, in 1999, he finally managed to escape the cult with his girlfriend Alexia Manuel by faking a visit to the cult's compound in Mexico and fleeing to the US instead. Reintegration into society after 24 years in an isolated cult was anything but simple, but Ricky somehow managed to pull through and secure a job as an electrician. He also married Alexia and later moved to Tucson, Arizona due to his work. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried to move forward, the nightmare he escaped continued to haunt him. David had passed away in 1994, and the cult was now under the supervision of Karen Zerby, Ricky's mother. And while the cult had managed to escape legal repercussions by mainly operating overseas, Ricky knew that there were still countless children suffering the same fate as him. So, in January of 2005, he decided enough was enough and took matters into his own hands. Which brings us back to the video he recorded and then mailed to a handful of close friends and his wife. In it, Ricky mentioned his ultimate goal, which was to bring down the cult all on his own. Beyond that, a part of this was also about getting revenge for everything that was done to him.
There's this need that I have. This need, it's not a want, it's a need, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's a need for revenge. It's a need
Bad way to go.
for justice.
Bad way to go.
Because I can't go on like this.
In this video,
Crazy
he
lady's in
also
charge,
laid out
buddy.
his plan for accomplishing this goal.
I think it's his mother
He'd
that's
apparently
in
gotten in
charge.
contact with his previous nanny, Angela Smith, who was among the group that tormented him during his time in the cult. He was going to invite her over for dinner at his apartment in Tucson and make her tell everything she knew about the other members' whereabouts by any means necessary. And that's exactly what he did. On January 8th, after mailing copies of his recording, he invited Angela into his home and proceeded with the plan. It's unclear what information he managed to extract from her before taking her life. He then got into his car and drove to Blythe, California. There, he rented a motel and called his wife.
Invited a woman over. He was just cool with it.
To tell her about what he had done and what he was going to do
confused.
next. However, despite the meticulous planning, Ricky ultimately couldn't follow through with the rest of his plan. On the morning of January 9th, authorities found his car in a parking lot just a few miles from the hotel he was staying at. Ricky was found inside the car as well, where he had taken his own life. And while this was tragic news for his loved ones, it was hardly surprising for his wife. You see, Ricky believed that killing the cultists would bring him peace, something he reiterated in his last video.
I can imagine how I would feel. How liberating it would be.
But that's not what happened. During his call with his wife, he confessed that despite his anger and resentment, killing Angela was the hardest thing he had ever done. Taking revenge didn't bring the comfort he was looking for. He couldn't bring himself to take any more lives and decided to end it all that night, leaving his friends and family with this hour-long video to remember him by. As for the family cult, it remains active to this day under the leadership of his mother. On October 4th, 2006, at approximately 6:15 a.m., the Barrie Police Department received a chilling call from a woman saying, "My children are dead," in a calm and quiet voice. The disconnect between her tone and the situation she was describing was extremely unsettling. When asked what happened, she replied, "I don't know, I don't remember." Police officers immediately rushed to the address she provided and knocked on the door of her apartment, bracing for what they might find. The door opened and they were greeted by 31-year-old Frances Elaine Campione. When the officers asked her about the children she mentioned on her call, she replied in the same disturbingly calm voice, stating, "Yes, they're dead. They're on my bed." As the officers entered the master bedroom, he saw the remains of two little girls, 3-year-old Serena and 19-month-old Sophia, lying on the bed. Both were dressed in clean clothes and were also wearing necklaces and earrings. However, their skin was starting to turn blue, suggesting they might have been deceased for quite some time. One of the officers also noticed a small bruise on Sophia's forehead, and that was it. There was nothing else in the room that could have explained their deaths. But as the investigators looked through Elaine's apartment, they found a camcorder with footage that explained everything. The recording started on a wholesome note, showing Elaine surprising Serena with a new bike on her 3rd birthday on August 8th.
The little girl was 3 years old.
August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena. Happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the living room and see if you got any birthday presents from the birthday fairies?
Yes!
Okay, let's go.
This makes me sad right here. How tiny she. Look at her. Little tiny legs.
What is it?
It's a bike.
The next video also showed Elaine and her 2 daughters just hanging around and having fun.
I love you.
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that.
So far, everything looked quite normal. However, the 3rd recording, dated October 2nd, was when things started to get weird. The tone of the recordings instantly changed as Elaine suddenly went on and on about their horrible living conditions and the torment her ex-husband Leo and his family had put her through, said all in front of her children.
She definitely don't.
You
That ain't
can't
love.
see through the camera, boo-boo. Oh, yes, this is a
That ain't
deplorable,
love.
horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the
You're
3 years
damn
of
lie.
physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I
You're
endured
damn
tremendously
lie.
by Leonardo Campione, and then
You're
the
a
past year
damn
from
lie.
Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse, which wouldn't stop, and I had CAS keep bringing these 2 people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse it was causing my 3-year-old daughter Serena and I and
Before little
Sophia.
girls.
It was horrible and uncalled for. And I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have.
Baby's trying to talk to you. You too busy
Leo
trying to
was
film this fake
apparently
video.
extremely abusive, both physically and mentally. He prevented her from contacting her parents, and at one point even kicked her in her stomach while she was pregnant. This resulted in Leo getting charged with domestic violence, and the 2 getting divorced. However, at the time of this recording, Leo was starting to turn things around, and was engaged in a legal battle with Elaine over the custody of their daughters. This took an immense toll on Elaine's mental health. She was already quite unstable and had been to the psych ward twice in the past couple of years. But according to her mother, the custody battle caused her to lose it completely and develop severe paranoia. She became worried that Leo would one day show up and forcibly take her daughters away.
He should have.
On
Leo, you
October
should have
2nd,
showed up and
after
took him
ending
away
this
from her,
recording
bro.
at 8:39 p.m., Elaine did the unthinkable by taking the lives of her own daughters, then recording a haunting confession that investigators discovered on the same camera.
Recording this because Leo there. Are you happy? Everything is gone. You wouldn't.
Look at this sick bitch right here.
You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me, telling her I had
And now she gonna try to blame him for her doing that bull. I can't wait till God deal with this.
to sign papers when I did.
Can't wait till God deal.
I went to victim witness to get the truth. Try and beg
Over a
everyone
man.
the truth. How you beat me for 3 years behind closed doors. Beat me when I was pregnant with Serena and Sophia. You didn't care about
She might
my
not be
babies.
lying,
You
but
didn't care about me. You cared
if you're
about
mad at him, why you
yourself.
killing the kids?
You wanted to win. You won. Are you happy? How does it make you feel?
Exactly, Mandy. Kill your damn self. Kill your
How
damn
does
self.
it make you feel? Because it doesn't make me feel great.
That's why you look like Doug Funny in the face. Somebody Google
At this
Doug
point,
Funny
the
and tell
camera
me you don't
cut
look
to a
like
later
this lady in the
point where Elaine
face.
attempted to take her own.
No. She didn't try to overdose. I'm gonna tell you what really happened. She took like 2 or 3 pills and then realized like, oh, okay, this ain't gonna work. And I realized how selfish I actually am. I don't want to kill myself. I would never do that. So then she stopped right there. Doug's funny looking ass.
They are changing the displays. Now is the time to in stock models, full model, or custom orders. Everything has a sale price. Cool spots on the showroom. Making waves. In Aurelia,
Exactly, Mishi. Exactly.
You can also check them
This
out
is not all about her.
on showroom.com.
You have to make the attention back on herself.
Elaine was
even if it
arrested
means
on the spot
becoming a
and was
criminal.
later charged with murder, with the found footage in her home serving as crucial evidence against her. She was ultimately sentenced to life in prison
What are you
with the
crying?
possibility
Like,
of parole after
what are you
25
crying
years.
for now, though? Like, this was like something you did not have
Years
to do. It was
ago, the
optional.
Bureau of Land Management published a public
Why
service
did-
announcement dubbed Stay Out and Stay Alive, educating viewers about the countless dangers
See,
of
look, listen, Linda. Let me tell y'all something real quick, okay? When you find yourself entering entrances like this right here, when you find yourself doing this right here, turn around and do something else. Turn around and just do something else. They said stay out and stay alive. What more do you need to know?
exploring abandoned mines, including the very real risk of cave-ins, volatile explosives,
doesn't, Mandy.
wild animals, and entire sections without oxygen.
I would never, ever, ever condone putting my hands on a woman. I would never, ever tell somebody to do that. If I see somebody doing that in front of me, I'm gonna have to step in and say something about it. But if I was the officer and I was doing that interrogation with her, I'd just, I'd arrest you too. And I know, officer, I know Sarge. Take me in, Sarge. Take me. Guilty as charged. I admit to everything.
However, the most chilling part of the video was the story and the accompanying found footage of an accident that had occurred years ago.
Our justice system only works on the people that it wants to work on.
A group of young men found an abandoned mine in Nevada and decided to explore it for fun. Though, surprisingly, the boys seemed acutely aware of the mistake they were making right from the start.
As you see Briz pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're gonna
listen to this again, y'all. Cause they're reading it.
Stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're gonna go anyway.
This is an unsafe mine. Danger.
Yet the allure of exploring a place untouched for decades was too tempting for them to ignore.
My kids would never.
However, the deeper they went into the mine, the more dangerous it became. With the boys walking over sketchy wooden bridges to continue their journey. They even found signs of the mine caving in, but chose to ignore those signs just to venture deeper.
If you look at all this, there's lots of rocks and stuff that have fallen from the ceiling, which indicates that probably not a good idea to be walking this way. And, well, they've already fallen, so they're not gonna fall again. Well, there's more to fall still.
An important thing to keep in mind is that these weren't professionals with prior experience of safely exploring abandoned mines. This was just a group of boys looking.
What is in an abandoned mine? What are you going down there for? Just to put yourself in danger? Because I'm really confused. What are you looking for in an abandoned mine that they say stay out and stay alive out of? I just don't understand.
To do something cool and film the adventure. They could have easily plunged their deaths down a 1,000-foot mine shaft or gotten lost in the miles-long maze of tunnels, which started looking more and more likely as time went on.
Yeah, we gotta remember where we're. Okay, we got out here. Who painted these X's?
Oh, they definitely need the belt. A wet belt. You know, just put a little water on that thing so it'll stick.
They go this way. That one's got an X. Let's talk about that. What is the diamond mean? Where's that go? Goes down.
And they're gonna go down further, y'all.
Oh, that's not a little. Well, it'd be kind of hard if you slip.
Like, you know what? The blessing don't be enough, right? The blessing don't be enough. It's like if you win the lottery for $100 million, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to pay taxes on it. So now you mad that you got like $38 million. Now you pissed off. Now you want to go on the internet and talk crazy about everybody. Now you hate everybody. Still got $38 million. Let the blessing be. Oh, God, take it from me. Now, y'all done made it in this damn mine and y'all didn't get crushed or nothing. And there's a secret hidden forbidden area. And look at him all the way up in there already. You see the one right here? Look at him. He couldn't wait to get in there. Let's go. Just eager. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. We definitely gonna listen to that song after
Toxic gases and radioactive elements could have also caused serious health issues down the line, if not immediately. Fortunately, they somehow managed to avoid all of these dangers and make their way fairly deep into the mine. But then they came across something that could have ended all of their lives in one fell swoop.
Got them pipes. Oh, wow. We have to climb that?
Yeah, don't everybody get up.
I got it. You don't need to lunch on the floor. This is going to America's Funniest when somebody falls. That's a good idea. Alrighty. Oh, that's on the table. Don't touch that. The ropes.
While crossing a sketchy section of the mine, one of the boys noticed a rope dangling down from one of the wooden beams and immediately became curious about whatever was down there.
It's down to the main shaft. Wow, so we're climbing down this rope? Yeah. How far down? How are we getting out of it? Climbing up it. I see.
They had little rope climbing experience between them. However, they didn't let that stop them from accomplishing their desires. The guy named Adam decided to be the first one to descend, resulting in this.
How far down does it
go? It's gonna break. The thing is gonna break.
Oh, like a good 30 feet.
Oh, man, boy.
I'll go first.
Oh man, boy, this thing is about to break, y'all.
You don't like to break up.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Yeah, it's all like this. Is that off now? It's not. How am I gonna get the thing down there? Yeah, but how am I gonna get back up?
Yeah, how you gonna get back up when the beam breaks, you idiot?
Give you my belt, straight on.
There it goes.
Adam! Oh! Adam! Oh. Adam! Yes. Adam! Oh, God. Oh, God. Somebody help. Adam!
The rope Adam chose to trust was
God.
completely worn and
Somebody
gave way
help.
shortly after putting his weight on it. This caused him to plunge 65 feet down a dark mine shaft and lose consciousness. Luckily, none of the damage he took on his way down was immediately lethal. He was still breathing. His friends were able to find an exit and contact the authorities, who eventually rescued Adam after an hours-long rescue mission. Ultimately, them escaping the mine without any casualties was nothing short of a miracle. The mine shaft could have easily been over 100 feet deep, or Adam could have just as easily hit his head on the surrounding wall. Both of these scenarios would have resulted in his death. What's even worse is that the whole group could have gotten stranded in the shaft if the rope broke when the last person was going down. With no way to contact the outside world, the group would have likely died of starvation. Fortunately, they were able to walk away from this terrifying experience with just a few broken bones along with cuts and scratches.
Oh, boys,
On the 25th of February 2022, the Perea Fuel Company hired maintenance workers to reopen one of the underwater pipes connecting their oil unloading dock and refinery.
Boy,
The
that's
operation
a
team
special kind of
included
stupid
5
right
men:
there, y'all.
Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf,
Oh, this
Rishi,
story is
and
crazy.
Faisal. They were going to use a pressurized habitat to inspect the pipe and make any necessary repairs.
This story
However,
is
shortly
freaking
after entering
crazy.
this habitat, all 5 men disappeared from the work site, leaving those on the surface to wonder what could have happened. It wasn't until rescuers found footage from a GoPro mounted to one of the divers' suits that the full truth came to light. The footage showed the men struggling to open the valve keeping the pipe shut, prompting Kazim to go get a wrench. He returned to the habitat and handed the wrench over to his co-workers. But then, a few seconds later, this happened.
Look at this, y'all. Watch what happens when they open this valve up. Watch what happens when they open this valve up, y'all. Holy. That's all 4 of them getting sucked into the pipe.
The moment the valve was opened, its low pressure created a powerful vacuum. Water rushed into the habitat, while the pressurized air violently forced everyone into the pipe. All 5 of the men were forced into the 30-inch wide pipe, faster than they could blink. After tumbling through the metal pipe at violent speeds for a minute and a half, they came to a stop at a section containing a small air pocket, just enough to keep them alive, allowing them a brief moment to find their bearings and assess the gravity of their situation. All of them were barely breathing, and one of them had also injured his leg. And while the air pocket was keeping them alive for the moment, it wasn't going to last very long. So, with no other option, the 2 men at the front, Christopher and Faisal, started moving forward in hopes of reaching the pipe's end and getting help for the other 3. But after making their way through several flooded sections, Faisal lost hope and refused to go any further. This left Christopher to continue alone, and ultimately reach the end of the pipe, where he was eventually pulled out by rescuers. Unfortunately, the same did not happen for his 4 co-workers. Days passed, and the rescue efforts were slim to none, eventually leaving the other 4 to die in that cramped metal tube. The company's CEO later defended this decision, stating that a rescue mission would have only endangered more lives. The incident sparked widespread outrage and even forced the regional government to launch an inquiry into how such a disaster was allowed to happen in the first place. But, as is the case with countless similar incidents, nothing much came of it, despite the numerous hearings. The other 4 divers were left for dead. That said, the Trinidad government did announce a compensation of $1 million for each of their families, as well as Christopher, in April 2025. On April 28, 2000, 22-year-old Russian diving instructor Yuri Lipsky decided to reach the depths of the Blue Hole in Dahab, Egypt. This was a risky plan from the get-go, since the Blue Hole is widely regarded as the deadliest diving site in the world, with as many as 200
Let's go diving in the deadliest diving site in the world.
To make matters worse, before his dive, Yuri asked a local technical diver to accompany him on his journey. All of them rejected him, since the preparations for this risk...
They said, you want me to go with you? Nah, bruh, I ain't going with you down there. Nah, bruh. Nah, I feel them. Hey, Aunt, you want to go diving in? I don't dive no more, bro.
Of a dive took as long as a week, yet Yuri wanted to go in just 2 days no matter what. Even after every instructor refused to support his plan, instead of backing out, Yuri made the worst mistake of his life and chose to go through with it alone. He started the dive around noon and quickly disappeared into the depths of the ocean. However, many hours passed and there was no sign of Yuri anywhere. His concerned mother enlisted the help of a local technical diver named Tariq Omar, who immediately set out to rescue her son. Unfortunately, by the time he found Yuri, it was already too late. Tariq discovered Yuri's lifeless body floating near the floor of the Blue Hole. The next day, he returned with the necessary equipment to bring Yuri's body back to the surface and got to work. But as he was about to take Yuri back, he noticed that Yuri's diving camera was lying nearby. So he grabbed that as well and began ascending. This camera had captured the final moments of Yuri in haunting detail.
On an okay day. Better now that you're here.
The dive started like any other, with Yuri swimming alongside many other divers. However, it wasn't long before everyone else faded from view as he started to descend deeper into the Blue Hole. And that's when all the worst possible things started happening in rapid succession.
Of course
it started with him failing to keep his gas levels
you ain't supposed
under
to be
check,
diving in the most dangerous dive spot in the world,
becoming extremely disoriented. By the time he realized his situation, he was already sinking like a rock. He started panicking and began inflating his buoyancy control device quickly to avoid sinking any further. Tragically, this backfired. The buoyancy control device bursted due to the rapidly increasing pressure, leaving Yuri no way of safely returning to the surface.
Now look at you. Down in the Blue Lagoon, stuck.
The increasing depth exacerbates the symptoms of nitrogen poisoning as well. And it wasn't long before his camera captured the horrific sounds of him struggling to breathe, ending with him sinking to the 377 feet or 115 meters deep sea floor
not suitable for younger audiences.
The only silver lining in this whole situation is that there's a good chance the found footage helped at least one diver avoid a similar fate by learning from the mistakes that cost Yuri his life.
TikTok, you're always trying to put a monkey wrench in what I got going on. But I told y'all, after that one case, we got to play this song real quick. We just have to. I'm sorry. We got to have a sing-along real quick because, yeah, I don't know what these people are doing. But we're going to sing together, y'all.
Set fire to your hair. Poke a stick at a grizzly bear.
Don't do that.
Eat medicine that's out of date. Use your private parts as piranha bait.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Stop being silly, y'all.
Toast out with a fork. Do your own electrical work. Teach yourself how to fly. Eat a
Put your lighters up, y'all.
Old unrefrigerated pie.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Invite a psycho killer inside. Scratch a drug dealer's brand new ride. your helmet off in outer space. Use a clothes dryer as a hiding place. Dumb ways to die.
So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Keep a rattlesnake as a pet. Sell both your kidneys on the internet.
You're hitting it now.
A tube of super glue. I wonder, what's this red button do? Dumb
Ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. You don't want to shake it with the money in the front.
Dress up like a moose during hunting season. Disturb a nest of wasps for no good reason.
We were just talking about wasps the other
Stand
day.
on the edge of a train station platform. Drive around the boom, gets at a level.
I know this is gonna get this video flagged.
flagged.
YouTube is definitely gonna flag this video.
They not
I know they are.
but they're quite
I don't care though. Dumb ways to die.
Dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die.
So many dumb ways to die.
So many dumb ways to die.
Yeah.
Be safe around trains. A message from Metro.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that was actually a song from a train. That's pretty damn. All right, let's move on, y'all. And you know what time it is, okay? Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what I'm about to put on. Y'all know what I'm about to put on. If you didn't know, well, now you know. Tubi movie funniest
I'll figure it out.
moments.
I just got a lot on my mind. Remember the dude that I told you that's doing all that time for protecting me? Well, he come home next week, and I don't think he too happy with me.
The fuck? J-Mo, what the fuck you mean? You ain't even got enough money to support my needs and you worry about a fucking jailbird coming home? Fuck him and figure out how to get my fucking money. And your bald head ass sleeping on the couch tonight.
Damn. He really sleeping on the couch, y'all.
You everything that you were hoping that I can. And you've been driving me insane. Damn, I really love your brain. I love your hair, I love your style, I love your ass, I love you.
Because we need to figure out, first of all, because I have a lot of questions right now. The first question I have, okay, the very first question I have, are we just dancing in the middle of the street now? Or is this what we do? We just play a song and then everyone just moves out the way so we can. And then two, what are these lyrics? Listen to this song, y'all. Like, listen to the lyrics, and then somebody tell me.
Hoping that I can, and you've been driving me insane. Damn, I really love your brain. I love your hair, I love your style, I love your ass, I love your smile. Would it be a reckless claim to say I think you feel the same? So if we do this,
Did they CGI a dancing baby in here? Like what? Like no, don't hide. No. Don't hide. Y'all Snapchatted a baby. Y'all augmented reality a Snapchat baby, and we see it. No. Don't try to gloss over this. Okay? We know that y'all CGI'd a dancing baby in here. We see it. Don't do that. Babies don't even dance like that. There's no conceivable reason. And why are they filming in a regular residential area? Like, this is frustrating. This is frustrating.
Got my hair done and I fucked up and left my wallet at home. Can you send me something so I don't get embarrassed in here?
Yeah, how much you need?
$350. Thank you, baby. You're the best. I love you.
All right, love you too. I gotta get back to work though.
Okay, Gerard. Bye. Mwah.
That wig is horrible.
Did you still want to purchase? No. I think I'm gonna go get me a steak from Ruth Chris and go get my nails redone. Thank you, Tanya.
Hey, Michael. I'm free after I drop my sister off if you want to grab something to eat.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, we can go get some food.
Okay, put your number on my phone so I can call you.
Okay. Here you go. Okay.
I know y'all see.
Here you go.
Man, why you in there choking Brandy, bro? Nigga, what fuck that shit, nigga. I'm doing this shit because you ain't do it. I had gave you one job and your ass didn't do that shit. Man, you didn't give me a chance to do my job. Nigga, you had plenty time. You impatient, bro. No, because you got some shit going on.
Angela, what is going on?
Man, you a punk. Nigga, who the fuck you calling a punk, bro? I don't even care about this shit no more. Oh, really? You don't? Yeah. Then get the fuck out of here then. Okay, I probably care about you. That way, El Quincy. What? Fuck your ass. Bitch ass nigga. You ain't done this shit your damn self. I wouldn't have to do this shit.
So he has blood coming out of his mouth, but no blood or a hole where he got shot at?
I want a divorce. And I hope your ass die. You no good mother.
Why do he look like... He said...
Divorce.
I'm gonna do
and
it too.
I hope your ass die. You no good mother.
Our sister died during...
Khalil!
What? You got too ashamed to admit it? Know what? I'm pretty sure the only people that know her are at this table. You just gotta be so perfect, don't you?
No!
Take that!
He is a grown-ass man.
Take that!
You need to start babying him like that.
I just worry so much about him.
Only man you need to be worried about is me. You hear me? Give me some more of that chicken. Hurry up.
I'm ready.
Honest man or something. Okay.
You like it?
Hell no!
Damn.
Look at your makeup.
Baby.
You embarrassing me. Fuck that.
Baby.
Stay here. Get the fuck off my phone with this dumb shit. You hear me?
I even feel like there's something wrong. I murdered that motherfucker with my bare hands.
Damn.
That bastard? This about to be a free man. He's my father. He's my father.
He's my father. He's my father.
You can see the cameraman in the reflection of the glasses.
Sacrifices for your fucking child.
Sacrifices? Selling pussy, you call that a sacrifice?
Okay. It's time to go. Let's ride. I'm not doing this with you.
Now how am I supposed to feel?
I'm pregnant.
Wait, did they have that part in the movie? Like, is it like intentionally bad movies? Like, do y'all...
Pregnant. Pregnant. Baby, we never...
Gerson says, I do not watch Tubi for this reason.
Oh, you didn't think I knew, did you?
What I did before I met you has nothing to do with this marriage. It's you who show me nothing but disrespect. And it's you who never listens to
I mean,
nothing.
hold on real quick. All crazy, but gotta do a different hairstyle, don't we? That look like Mike. You know Mike Tyson when he got that tattoo on his face. That's kind of what that reminds me of. I don't. The edges is on the edge, baby girl. It might be time.
Listen to you for what? Huh?
Time to chop it off.
You don't do nothing for me. I can't watch my porn, but you can listen to gospel music all day? I am so...
I don't know if you can... I mean, I get you trying to make the relationship even, you know, evenly yoked. No, I get it. But like, compared to gospel to porn, I just...
So sick of you, Lorraine. That's why it's time for me to get a new woman.
Do this! Please don't do this! You don't have to do this, Charles! Stop!
You know what? Your pussy trash.
About to burn her up. Good morning, Miss Jackson. Said, you know what? Your pussy trash anyway. Your pussy trash anyway.
You chose to go to me, huh?
I heard titties falling out of her.
I gave you my heart. You said you needed time to yourself, but every day I see Jasmine leaving here smiling and shit. You never loved me, did you?
I'm just not in love with you. I love Jazz.
Slow slap.
Every time I give my heart to a woman, she want to leave me, but not this time. Wouldn't it be ironic to die the same day you was born?
Max, what is this? Why are we here?
You see that feeling right there? It's not love, it's fear. You know, I wonder why you followed me here. Relax, I'm not gonna kill you. But you need to know this is where we part ways. Get out. You know I'm not innocent. You don't want me to die. You know we can't be together. So that only leaves one thing. And now I'm not going to prison.
I said, I'm a queen. That's how my mama raised me. I grew up being called her princess, baby. I don't found worth in material things. That's temporary. Put that work on inside. That's necessary. Keep your crown up. Don't let it fall for anybody. Stay true to yourself. And don't let it fall for nobody.
Stuck in the darkness, but I ain't blocking the truth. Save all the youth and boys and girls around the world. I want to be an icon. And play my tactics like a python.
Tiffany.
We gonna take a couple. I don't even know what. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, y'all.
I said, I'm a queen. That's how my mama raised me. I grew up being called her princess, baby. I don't found worth in material things. That's temporary. Put that work on inside. That's necessary. Keep your crown up. Don't let it fall
Like she is big time reading that teleprompter.
Nobody.
Wow.
Stuck in the darkness, but I ain't watching you save all the youth and
Tiffany. Her calm was creamy like pudding, but it had a
Did y'all hear what she just said? Oh my God, what is wrong with people? Listen to what she says, this first line. Get off the screen, bro.
Tiffany. Her calm was creamy like pudding, but it had a fishy taste. Charlene, her calm was wet, real wet, and it had a floral, musky smell.
How about to do this? All right.
But Imani,
it's too, like, you are, no. That's not okay.
She was my favorite. Her calm taste.
And she's still, I don't even know what she's saying, but I know she's talking crazy right now. I could just see the look in her face. Like, I know she's talking crazy right now.
But she was butt-ass ugly.
Like, I just know she's saying some foul stuff.
I was watching a Tubi movie and I saw myself pumping gas. Tubi, y'all gonna have to pay me extra fee. I'm not doing no extra down here in the ATL pumping gas in the movie.
I need a second, y'all. I need a second after that because like there was so much stuff in that video that I just need me a couple of moments real quick, y'all. Just need to just know, cause he said her cum was creamy like pudding. That sounds like a venereal, baby. That sounds like a virus, okay? That doesn't sound like pudding. I don't know if that's supposed to. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. Yeah, Marissa, you might want to go you might want to go see your primary, okay? Or if you live in Nevada, you need to go to SNHD. That's the Southern Nevada Health District, okay? You need to go get seen by somebody, right? Maybe you got some Medicaid, you might be able to get services with no copay. Go get that looked at, because if it's coming out like pudding, well, pudding, you're doing some things you shouldn't, okay? Go see somebody about that, because that is gonna linger, okay? Those type of things don't just blow over, all right? It's not an argument with the coworker, okay? You don't just clock out, then clock back in and things are okay. No. That's the gift that keeps on giving. That's the churn that's gonna burn, baby, okay? Don't ever think that the cum tasting like pudding or whatever she said, whatever categorically disgusting thing she said. That's not the way we're gonna live our life. So let's see if we can find another one real quick. I mean, I know we can find another one, but I don't even want to do. I don't even want to do another Tubi movie because I don't know what they're gonna say, and I'm nervous now. I'm scared now, so I don't even want to go that route again. You know what? We gonna take a trapping break. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know it's out now, right? Hold on. The lyric video is out. We are released, y'all. I mean, I don't got. Oh, there it is, right there. Come on, y'all. The lyric video's out. Trapping. We gonna run it through one time. Let's see where we at. We got 36 humble views with 1 humble like. You know what I'm saying? Out now on Spotify.
But then they get right back to trapping, get right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping. We back to the trapping. They get right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping.
While I try to find another video for us to.
They get right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping. We back to the trapping. They get right
Now,
back
if they would have performed this on stage, they would have had some.
Link with the plug of the package, then dip off in traffic. These chicks keep on stacking, like I'm winning at Bally's. I take time for the savage, make time for a bad one. She found something to imagine, and the weight was on bantam. I put her on camera, put them cuffs on her after. That might explain her absence. All about babe, but this treble is smacking. She see what I'm saying, got my shit on caption. Loving my verbals, cause I'm about that action. Roll up that herbal, then pass it. What's happening? She sending good morning handsome. Waist snatch down, trapping for the ransom. Shape right, fruit of God, apple like other hoes bite, but I got an appetite. She think I'm the one. She think it's true love. We may be booed up, but then they get right back to trapping, get right back to trapping.
They get right back to trapping. Get right back to trapping. We back to the
trapping. They get right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping. We back to the trapping. Right back to trapping. They get right back to trapping. We back to the trapping. They get right back to trapping.
This is my song, YouTube. I know you ready to pull it down.
You went right back to capping. Good or bad that I'm grabbing. Sometimes you can't grasp it. It's the fact that I'd rather get back to you after this lady's been captured and put under the mattress. Cause these banks out here taxing, they charging for access. Judging me on my taxing. Shit I did in the past.
Didn't know that cannot stop plans from hatching. Fucking with chicks that could get some shit cracking.
Exaggerate love, but we can't think passion.
Feel sorry for everyone after I
stab it. I'm getting more than just dick to her.
Looking just like a first round
pick to her. Piss her off and I talk a little shit to her. I'm the only one who can really get to her.
Think I'm the one. She think it's true love. We may be booed up,
but then they get right back to trapping, get right back to trapping. Then get right back to trapping.
Then get right back to trapping. We back to the trap. Then get right back to trapping. Then get right back to trapping. We back to the
trap. Then get right back to trapping. Then get
right back to trapping. We back to the trap.
Then get right back to trapping.
We get back to the trapping. We right back to trapping. Trapping out now. Spotify, YouTube, Napster, Deezer, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you listening at, y'all. That's where we at. That's where we at. All right, we're gonna look at some internet rabbit holes real quick, y'all. Let's get to it. Shout out to you if you already heard the song on
UFC
Spotify,
walkout
streamed
photo.
it, whatever the case may be.
On October 18,
appreciate
2025, a UFC Fight Night match between Brendan Allen and Ryan
Make sure you
the
follow
Ritter
on
in
Spotify.
Vancouver went viral across the internet. But not because of the fight
yeah, this
itself.
was crazy.
Instead,
I
the
remember
moment that
this. This
caught
just happened
everyone's
recently.
attention happened during Brendan's walkout. A small handful of people noticed that as he was making his way to the octagon, a fan flashed his phone to the camera for a split second, showing what looked like a very disturbing image. What a lot of people thought was the picture of a lifeless body lying on the ground. What made this already creepy incident even more disturbing was when the camera moved a bit further and showed the person who was holding the phone. He was wearing a luchador-inspired wrestling mask, likely to hide his identity, all while looking directly at the camera with an unsettling, almost psychotic smile on his face. Which begs the question, what was this picture, and why did he show it on live TV to an audience of millions?
What is that?
Reverse image searching the picture on the phone doesn't bring up any similar results, and no one has been able to link it to some movie or TV show either. In other words, the person holding the phone likely took the picture themselves.
Welcome back, Nishi.
And judging from what it looks like, the most disturbing explanation that comes to mind is that the man in the luchador mask had killed the person in the photo. The person appeared to have heavy bruises, including black eyes and possibly a bloody mouth.
I don't know
Even
how
if
they
they
could
were
see all that
alive,
on
they
that
appeared to be in
blurry-ass
serious
picture, though.
danger, possibly after being kidnapped by the
I
perpetrator.
don't know how they could see all that on that
While this
blurry
might
picture.
sound absurd at first, it's definitely a real possibility to consider. There have been countless killers throughout history who craved attention and deliberately left behind clues to become famous.
I think they cap it.
Maybe this particular killer thought showing off their crime on TV was the best
Yeah.
way to receive that attention. And with the virality and discussion online, he certainly achieved that goal. On a similar note, this could also be a ransom kidnapping situation where the stunt was meant to publicly prove the victim was still alive to their family, especially since sending the photo directly would risk law enforcement tracing it back to the kidnappers. That said, there are a few notable innocent theories suggesting the opposite that have likely kept law enforcement from conducting any real investigation. Some have suggested that this was nothing more than a prank. As a user on Reddit speculated, "To me it looks like some college-aged guy laying on a bathroom floor with makeup on. Could be a dude who got so
How can they
drunk
tell
his
it's
mates
makeup,
decided to
though?
mess with him by drawing on his face or putting makeup
I
on
couldn't
him
even see
then took
that.
a picture. One of them decided to shame him even further by flashing it at the UFC when he knew the cameras would be broadcasting." It's also possible that it could be a deliberate attempt to create a creepy hoax, especially since it happened fairly close to Halloween. Cropping out just the phone and brightening up the image also makes it look a bit more like a regular photo. Some argue that now it looks like a man simply sunbathing on an outdoor lounge chair with a pool in the background. But why would someone be motivated to show something like this if it really was an innocent picture? At the end of the day, all of these theories are just guesses, and any number of things could really be going on here, innocent or disturbing. Because the masked man's identity was never revealed, we will likely never know for sure. Buried alive in Brazil. In January 2018, a 37-year-old Brazilian woman named Rosângela Almeida was going about her day when she suddenly collapsed out of nowhere. She was rushed to the hospital where doctors found that she had experienced 2 cardiac arrests. She was in critical condition and eventually passed away on January 28 after barely clinging to life for a few days in the ICU. Her family held a memorial service for her that evening, and she was buried in the Sonora Santana Cemetery near her hometown. Her remains were placed in a wooden casket which was encased in a solid concrete tomb. Losing her at such a young age was devastating for her family, and especially her mother. What none of them knew, however, was that their grief was about to take a dark, tragic turn. You see, a day after her burial, reportedly, people living next to the cemetery started hearing noises from graves. These included the sound of someone banging their hands against a hard surface, as well as a faint scream in some instances. However, the neighbors initially brushed off the noises as a prank by children, something that apparently happened often enough for them to ignore the noises entirely. But several days passed and the sounds did not stop. It wasn't until 11 days later that someone realized that the sounds were coming directly from Rosângela's grave. The neighbors immediately alerted her family upon making this discovery, fearing that she might have been falsely declared deceased and was still alive when buried. What made the situation even more concerning was the fact that Rosângela had been suffering from fainting spells ever since she was little. The time she spent unconscious had also been increasing over the years. Maybe she was just passed out when the hospital staff incorrectly declared her dead.
Bruh.
Family, friends, and neighbors rushed to the cemetery and opened her coffin, hoping to save her, with some people recording the whole event.
How do you not know if someone's dead or
Sadly,
not?
Rosângela was showing no signs of life. However, the people who touched her body exclaimed that she was still a bit warm to the touch, implying that she was at least alive up until very recently. Later reports also claimed that the nails in the coffin were looser than they were when she was buried, and that there were injuries on her wrists and blood marks on the inside of the coffin that weren't present before. Even the pieces of cotton placed in her nose and ears were knocked out. Most importantly, witnesses reported that she didn't seem nearly decomposed enough for someone who had died 11 days earlier. After the casket was exhumed, Rosângela was taken back to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead for a second time and buried once again. The question everyone had on their mind, however, was whether she was buried alive the first time. Her family, and particularly her mother, believed that was the case. Testimony from other people also seemed to back this conclusion, with one neighbor stating, "There were more than 500 people who came here and packed the cemetery. Everybody went to see, lots of people touched her foot, and everybody saw that she was still warm. She wasn't cold." Now, there are countless real stories of people tragically getting buried alive by accident, with many eventually passing away in the coffins before they could be rescued. And while the vast majority of these stories are from before we had modern medical tech, errors still do happen to this day. Just a few years ago, a Chinese woman was declared dead and sent to the funeral home before being discovered to be still alive. So the idea of the same thing happening to Rosângela was a real possibility, especially when we consider the fainting spells she experienced her whole life. However, despite all the reports and supposed evidence, both the doctors and investigators stayed adamant that she had passed away before her burial. In a statement to the media, the doctor explained that she was already in a serious, irreversible condition when she arrived at the hospital. From there, she was put under an intense level of monitoring to observe all her vitals closely. So there was no way he could have falsely assumed her to be dead under those conditions. As for the slower decomposition, that was explained by the result of her being on strong antibiotics while she was in the hospital. But these explanations failed to convince Rosangela's mother, who was devastated by the thought of her daughter enduring days of suffering buried in her casket. The case also became major news across Brazil, with many even accusing the police of not doing a proper investigation to protect the hospital and the doctors. So, what really happened? Was Rosangela actually buried alive? From everything I was able to find, it's not likely. For instance, many people reported her body being warm to the touch after opening the casket, suggesting she was alive up until recently. However, even if we assume that she was buried alive, there's no way she would have had enough air in the tomb to stay alive for 11 days straight. Giving it the benefit of the doubt, let's assume there was a hole somewhere in the tomb big enough to let fresh air in. Even then, it's near impossible for her to stay alive without water for long, all while screaming and banging on the coffin. Speaking of which, the investigators also claimed that they didn't find anyone who personally heard the noises, implying that it was nothing more than a rumor. That said, the details surrounding the case, like the reports of wrist injuries and blood marks, are still a bit murky to reach a solid conclusion. Whether or not Rosangela was actually buried alive is still, and will likely remain, unknown. The Wikipedia edit. WWE wrestler Chris Benoit was scheduled for a live house show on Saturday, June 23, 2007 in Texas. But hours before the event, the 40-year-old wrestler called management and claimed that he wouldn't be able to make it because both his wife and son were ill with food poisoning. But he didn't show up the next day and wasn't picking up his phone either. After over 24 hours of trying to contact him, the WWE management dialed 911 and requested a wellness check for Chris on Monday, June 25, assuming that maybe he was sick as well and needed help. However, nothing could have prepared the officers that were dispatched to his home for the tragedy they were about to witness. They arrived at his house in Georgia at around 2:30 p.m. and rang the bell.
This was a
When no one answered, they
crazy
looked for a
case.
way inside and discovered the garage door was wide open. The whole house was eerily silent, the reason for which became apparent when they discovered the remains of Chris, his wife, and his son scattered throughout the house. And as it turned out, the person responsible for this tragedy was Chris himself. He ended the lives of both his wife and son before turning on himself. The question now was why? Why would Chris do such a thing? But before the investigators could answer that question, they received a tip that challenged everything they thought they knew about this case. They were contacted by a Wikipedia representative who claimed that someone had made a suspicious edit to the Chris Benoit Wikipedia page at 12:01 a.m. over 14 hours before police did the welfare check. The edit read, Chris Benoit was replaced by Johnny Nitro for the ECW Championship match at Vengeance, as Benoit was not there due to personal issues stemming from the death of his wife Nancy. The thing about Wikipedia is that it's a social collaboration platform, where anyone can add new info or make edits. One possible explanation was that Chris, for some reason, made this edit himself. However, the autopsy report revealed that Chris had actually ended everything by Sunday evening, many hours before the edit. So, how did someone learn about what had happened before the news broke out? The possibilities were endless. Maybe he had a second accomplice, or maybe he told someone about what he had done earlier. Tracing his phone revealed that he had sent 5 cryptic messages to 2 of his colleagues, Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Scott Armstrong, including one message that he sent 4 times, reading, "My physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia," and the second one that read, "The dogs are in the enclosed pool area. Garage side door is open." These were sent just before 4 a.m. on Sunday, after he had already taken the lives of his wife and son. However, despite their unsettling nature, investigators didn't find any connection between what Chris did and the colleagues he sent these messages to. As for why he did it, the autopsy report also revealed that Chris had CTE, which is a progressive brain disease linked to repeated head impacts. His brain resembled that of an 85-year-old with dementia. Put simply, he likely experienced an extreme mental breakdown which resulted in an irreversible tragedy. However, while this reveal explained most of what happened, the Wikipedia edit was still a mystery. This mystery deepened further when investigators managed to trace the IP address that was used to make the edit and discovered that it was from Stamford, Connecticut, the location of the WWE headquarters. This, combined with the text messages, reignited rumors that WWE management might have been involved in what happened. But before the case could move in that direction, investigators found the man who made the edit, a 19-year-old university student named Matthew Greenberg. Matthew, however, was surprisingly cooperative. He allowed the police to confiscate his computer and other devices to investigate and agreed to an interrogation without any resistance. And when asked about his edit, he claimed that he made it after seeing rumors of it on wrestling forums.
Well, over like last weekend, the wrestler Benoit, there was like rumors going on because he missed the pay-per-view and his scheduled dates, which he never does. And I was reading rumors and speculation online.
Where online?
Like on forums. I forgot the exact sites. But I was like.
Okay, hold on. On forums?
Yeah.
Okay. In any chat rooms?
No, not chat rooms. I was just reading about it, and some rumors came up, and I just.
Yeah, what were the rumors?
That his his family was sick, or someone maybe died, like his wife perhaps, because he missed the pay-per-view.
Okay.
He was apparently telling the truth, as investigators didn't find a link between him and Chris. Wikipedia admins also found several other false edits he had made over the years, suggesting he was just an internet troll who guessed the truth by pure coincidence. Or at least that's the official story. Some believe that Matthew either had something to do with the incident or at least had insider information, especially since he wasn't the only one who made a similar edit. Something I haven't mentioned yet is that there was a second similar edit just 1 hour after Matthews was removed, stating that Chris missed his show because of the passing of Benoit's wife, Nancy. The IP for this edit was traced to Sydney, Australia, but the person who made it was never identified. For some, this is the confirmation that what everyone knows about Chris isn't the whole story and there was something else going on below the surface. On the other hand, the existence of this second edit could be used to prove Matthew's innocence, as they suggest the rumors were genuinely circulating on wrestling forums since two seemingly unrelated people attempted the same change. That said, it's been more than 18 years since this incident. So even if there was something deeper behind it, at this point it's unlikely to be revealed. Sunset Cruise. The final days of May 2023 were meant to be a celebration for 18-year-old Cameron Robbins, a recent high school graduate from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was on a celebratory cruise in the Bahamas with several hundred fellow graduates. The festivities, however, took a devastating turn on the evening of May 24th, leading to a mystery that the internet is still debating to this day. At around 9:30 p.m., Cameron was aboard the small cruise ship named the Blackbeard's Revenge near the uninhabited Athol Island, northwest of Nassau. The ship was stocked with alcohol, and since the legal drinking age in the Bahamas is 18, Cameron and his friends were drinking non-stop. But as they were enjoying their time on the cruise, someone reportedly dared Cameron to take a leap off the ship into the dark water. Cameron, likely due to heavy intoxication, agreed to the dare instantly and jumped overboard, resulting in one of his friends recording this video using Snapchat.
Maturity thing.
This kid jumped off! Oh my God. Oh.
And see, what you don't realize too, you jump off that boat, it looks like it's close to you, but there's a rotor and a motor under there pushing that boat. So you jump off, right? It's gonna take that boat a mile, half a mile to even turn around, and then you gotta try to stay in the same spot where you fell down at. Like, this is dumb ways to die.
Oh, bye-bye! Oh, yeah. Grab the buoy! Hey, the buoy!
This was, unfortunately, the last time anyone saw Cameron alive.
Of course.
The crew stopped as quickly as it could, and the crew alerted the Coast Guard about Cameron's disappearance.
Can't stop a boat that fast.
However, despite an extensive 2-day-long search of a 325 square mile area, Cameron was
brakes
not
on
to
the
be
ship.
found.
You just
He
stop
more than
it.
likely passed away not long after jumping overboard. But even his
Then you gotta
remains were
turn
never
all the way
discovered,
around.
which, considering the extensive search, was very odd. And the reason for it, according to some, is that he was attacked by a shark shortly after his jump. This theory began when someone noticed what looked like a large fish swimming toward Cameron seconds after he landed in the water. Moments later, Cameron could also be seen swimming in the opposite direction while ignoring the life preserver right in front of him, almost as if he saw the shark and was trying to get away from it. That said, the evidence supporting this theory is a bit inconsistent. On the one hand, the shark population in the Bahamas is quite healthy. These cruise ships often throw food waste overboard as well, likely causing the local marine life to associate them with food. So it's possible that a shark was following the ship and immediately swam over to Cameron to investigate as soon as it heard him hit the water. Additionally, many sharks also hunt at night, making shark attacks on humans much more likely. However, while this shows that a shark attack was a possibility, it doesn't outright prove it, especially when the evidence indicating the opposite is just as strong. For starters, the phone video that started this theory is extremely low resolution and blurry.
Blurry as hell.
What people interpret as a shark could very well be just a wave reflecting the ship's light. Cameron swimming away from the life preserver can also be explained by him being intoxicated and getting disoriented after hitting the water. Most importantly, while the Bahamas has plenty of sharks, their numbers around Athol Island specifically are extremely low, making the chances of Cameron being attacked by one even lower. A more straightforward explanation for Cameron's disappearance is the combined effect of exhaustion and environmental factors. Even in the warm climate of the Bahamas, prolonged exposure to water at night can quickly lead to hypothermia. The average sea temperature around the Bahamas in late May is certainly survivable for a short time, but the physical stress of jumping from a significant height, coupled with the immediate panic and exertion of swimming in the dark, open sea, would rapidly diminish a person's physical and mental capacity. Cameron was also seen swimming initially, but his direction appeared erratic. Even a strong swimmer can quickly become disoriented and exhausted when facing strong currents, and the immediate onset of psychological terror of being alone in the vast ocean darkness. Not to mention the fact that Cameron was highly intoxicated, turning the already difficult task of surviving in those waters into a near impossible.
I'm just saying, like, when I was young, I wasn't trying to do nothing but go to the damn club, okay? So if you would have put me on a ship with all my graduating classmates like this and we all got on our white, why would I know they say there's plenty of fish in the sea, but I got fish on the boat. What am I gonna go fishing for? You know what I'm saying? If you give a moose a muffin, he gonna want the whole bakery. Just eat your muffin, Cameron. Eat your muffin,
and
moose.
While the definitive cause of Cameron's death, whether by exhaustion, hypothermia, a shark encounter, or a drowning accident remains unknown, what is clear is the tragedy of a young life cut short so abruptly, with the incident serving as a stark reminder of the inherent danger of the open sea, particularly at night.
I probably wouldn't go on one at this point, I'll be honest.
The Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
I gotta really love you to go on a cruise with you at this point.
On the night of September 1st, 1944, a woman in the small town of Mattoon, Illinois named Aline Carney woke up smelling a sickening sweet odor in her bedroom at around 11 p.m. She dismissed the odor at first, thinking it was just the scent of flowers drifting in from outside her open window.
Did you?
She dismissed.
Look at these prices, y'all. Oh, 23 cents for 2 rolls of tissue. Get this tomato soup 2 for 25 cents. I get spaghetti 2 for 29 cents. 5 baby foods for 47 cents. What happened to us?
Missed the odor at first, thinking it was just the scent of flowers drifting in from outside her open window. But the sweetness soon became suffocatingly intense. She tried to get out of bed to investigate, but collapsed to the floor as soon as she stood up. That's when she realized she had no feeling in her arms or legs. The odor was also starting to cause a burning sensation on her lips and throat, making it difficult to even breathe. Seconds later, she also heard her daughter crying on the bed, asking why she couldn't move her arms or legs. Hearing this, Aline used all the strength she had to call for help, eventually getting the attention of her sister, who was sleeping in a different room. Her sister noticed the smell as well and determined that it was coming from the open bedroom window. She ran out to call the neighbors for help. Around the same time, Aline's husband, who was a taxi driver, pulled into the driveway. But before he could get out of his car, he was horrified to see a thin, tall figure standing outside the bedroom window. It was dressed in all black with what looked like a gas mask on its face and was holding a strange tubular device in its hand. The husband tried to chase after it, but the figure disappeared into a nearby alleyway. Given what they knew, the family concluded that the sweet-smelling gas had been released into the bedroom by the mysterious figure, later dubbed the Mad Gasser of Mattoon by the local media. Aline and her daughter were able to recover without any permanent damage to their bodies. However, the attack on their home became the template for numerous similar incidents over the next 2 weeks. Victims, mostly women and often home alone or with family, would report being hit with an odorless gas or sometimes a sickly sweet smell. This was followed by a range of symptoms like nausea, vomiting, temporary paralysis, dizziness, disorientation, and a burning sensation in the throat or eyes. In some cases, the symptoms lasted for hours, requiring medical attention. Yet, despite the severity of these chemical attacks, any attempts to investigate the gasser came up empty. There was no visible damage to homes, no broken windows, and no fingerprints. The mysterious assailant seemed to vanish into thin air. Witnesses and victims reported seeing shadows or figures lurking outside their windows, specifically near the ventilation openings of their homes. But the police never found any evidence of it. The sheer volume of attacks, with at least 29 officially reported incidents in a very short span, combined with the inability of law enforcement to find any evidence, created an atmosphere of absolute terror. It reached a point where some citizens took it upon themselves to patrol the streets with firearms. People were sleeping in shifts, guarding their homes and neighbors. However, no matter how much people tried, a perpetrator was never identified or captured, leaving the Mad Gasser of Mattoon as an eerie, unsolved mystery. But it's worth asking whether these attacks by a chemical assailant were even real, or was the entire phenomenon an unprecedented wave of mass hysteria? The argument for it being a real assailant rests almost entirely on the initial medical findings and specifically of the reported symptoms. In the first few cases, doctors and police were genuinely convinced that a real chemical agent had been deployed. The victim's symptoms like paralysis, nausea, and the burning sensation were too consistent and too severe to be immediately dismissed as simple panic. On the other hand, the argument for this being a case of mass hysteria is incredibly compelling. It's also the theory favored by many criminologists and psychologists who have reviewed the case since. As the theory goes, while it's possible that the few initial incidents might have involved a real criminal, the vast majority of the 29 reported attacks were likely the result of psychological contagion. The terror of a mysterious, invisible attacker, amplified by continuous sensational newspaper coverage, made people hypersensitive to any strange smell or discomfort.
I'm like,
many of the reported symptoms, for example, like
when
headaches, nausea, anxiety, and difficulty breathing, are also symptoms of acute anxiety or hyperventilation, a common reaction to extreme fear. Police searches also attributed the chemical odors found to common household cleaners, furnace gas leaks, or industrial pollution that was a regular part of life near Mattoon's industrial plants. A major breakthrough for the hysteria theory came when the Mattoon police publicly stated that the attacks weren't real and were likely caused by the community's war anxiety around World War II at the time and a collective nervous breakdown. And to everyone's surprise, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon attack stopped almost immediately after the police released this statement. Ultimately, the case is left suspended between a real chemical criminal and a genuine mass panic. There is a possibility that the story began with one or two initial genuine attacks using a non-lethal irritant, which then acted as the trigger for a widespread case of what is medically known as mass psychogenic illness, where symptoms and fear spread rapidly throughout a community without an identifiable physical cause. But at this point, we will likely never know.
Alright, y'all. It'll take me a little breather. I've been on since like 5. Take me a little breather real quick. I'll be back on this app. I got a couple videos dropping. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the song on Spotify if you haven't. Trappin', T-R-A-P. And shout out to Mishi for the repost. I seen you and I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. Let me know what you think. Yes, the court is on recess, but we will be back to judge these crazy people online. That's what we do. You're very judgmental, but we listen too. All right. Love y'all. See you in a little bit.